Indiana in the morning on a Tuesday. Overcast outside. We may see some sunshine today, but we choose to live here. So there you go, Rob Heinrich. How are you?
I'm great. I'm happy to be here in Western PA in the grayness and looking forward to some sunshine here soon.
In the drab grayness of Indiana County. There we go. It's all right. It's all right. We'll all be okay. Rob Heinrich is with us this morning, Superintendent of the Indiana Area School District, and our visit this morning brought to you by Marcus & Mack, voted best law firm and best personal injury lawyer 3 years in a row. In the Best of Indiana County contest, you can visit them online at marcusandmack.com. I've not had you in the studio since we found out that you're going to be the chairman of the United Way campaign next year.
Yeah, co-chairman. Teamed up with Aaron Ludwig, and I'm excited about that. The United Way does so many good things for our community, and they're really involved in so many different aspects and supporting so many different agencies that I'm proud and honored to have this opportunity to work with Aaron and hopefully do some good.
I'm telling you what, the guitar's coming out. You're going to have to form a whole band for all the different appearances you're going to make.
We may have to get the band back together at some point, huh?
Do you change the hair for that or no?
No, my hair only does one thing. I've had the same haircut since 5th grade.
So you're going to wig it.
They have to.
You're going to wig it. Hey, let's get down to some business with Indiana Area School District.
Sure.
Comprehensive plan. It's a big deal, isn't it?
It is. It comes around every 3 years. It's a lot of work, but it's important work. We put together a pretty large committee. First, we worked the school board to set the priorities and the goals for the next 3 years. Then we worked with 46 different representatives from the school district, parents, teachers, administrators, students even got involved to really look at what our strengths are, our weaknesses are, where our opportunities are. Mm-hmm. And we identified some priorities. Some of them are obvious, right? We want to improve our math scores, we want to improve our English scores and our science scores. But we also want to address things like the mental health crisis that we're seeing pop up across America. And, and we're not immune to that here. So, we want to look at different ways we can approach behavior management. We want to look at creating a data culture. And one of the things we did right away, once we got this approved, was we worked with the National Center on Economics or Education and the Economy, which is an organization out of Washington, D.C., who came up and really worked with a team of us, 25 teachers and administrators, on how to build an effective data culture where we really use information to drive our instructional decisions. So it's a lot of work, but it's really good work and it's important work. And it's the kind of work that's going to make Indiana one of the best school districts in the state.
See, a lot of people might not think that there is a quantitative way to look at data and apply it easily in the operation of any entity, let alone a school district, which is so diverse and has so many different. You're trying to develop data that is going to work and apply to an elementary school and even younger than elementary school, and also with high schoolers and the different approaches that have to be used in that in those pursuits, to have a way to approach it from a data standpoint. Not that that's the only way that you approach it, but it's really valuable.
Absolutely, it's critical to our operations. I mean, when you think about all of the things that we're trying to accomplish, well, how do we know that we're successful? Like, how do we know we're on the right track? And the answer is you got to measure it. You have to measure your success against a goal. So we set very specific goals and ambitious goals, and we establish benchmarks along the way, and we try to see if we hit those benchmarks. And that's in everything from math scores and math mastery to where behaviors occur. Do they occur in the cafeteria? Do they occur more in the hallways? So we can staff those areas appropriately and keep kids safer and have that opportunity for education. So we look at data in all different kinds of ways. And like you said, there's that quantitative data that I'm talking about, and then there's the qualitative data, what the people see, what kids feel, all of those things and their experience in our schools. And it's all important. It's a very complex organization, but it's important to study those data and make informed decisions.
Also, you attended the Northwestern PA Superintendent's Conference last Friday. That's another opportunity to learn and to share information with others who are in the same position you are in running school districts, and I'm sure that that's a very valuable exercise.
It absolutely is, and that's exactly right. It's nice to get to those organizations where there's 55 other superintendents who are all having a very similar experience to the one I'm having.
Yeah.
So, the challenges we face in Indiana are not unique. You know, I mentioned the mental health crisis. I mentioned, you know, the test scores that we're all trying to face. You know, we're all affected by different things. You know, there's a lot of anxiety over the, you know, Trump administration's approach to the Department of Education. Are they going to shut the whole thing down? Are they going to, you know, how deep are the cuts going to be, and how are they going to affect us? You know, there's certain agencies in our own state Department of Education that are completely funded by the federal government. You know, if that funding goes away, what does that mean for Indiana, or what does it mean for Marion Center, or, you know, Erie Public Schools? You know, everyone's facing the same anxiety. So we talked a little bit about that, and we don't have any real answers yet, and the sentiment is the same, though. You know, we respect the president's approach to try to become more efficient, but at the same time, make sure that those funds that are intended to get to our kids and our communities still get here. You know, and that's important. We get about $1.2 million from the federal government directly in Indiana school district, and if that would go away, that would be a problem. So we're just making sure that we advocate correctly to make sure that the federal government understands that we're concerned about that, and we need that money to make our kids, you know, learn and grow.
There has been a very targeted and specific approach by all of our area school districts regarding cyber charter school funding and the unfairness of the system in Pennsylvania, the way that it affects public schools, which have to spend a ton of money, and really you don't know where that money is going. You just know it's going out the door.
Absolutely.
And so there's you know, trying to get the legislature involved and find a better solution.
Absolutely, and we do know where some of that money is going, because the Auditor General just released a report of where some of that money is going, and frankly, a lot of it's wasteful. You know, there was just a release that, you know, one of the charter cyber schools in our area that operates spent $2.4 million in gas cards for their employees. That's $2.4 million paying their people to drive to work. You know, and there's better models than that. And although I really do appreciate all of the hard work that our legislators do, you know, because they made tremendous strides last year in supporting education, this is still something we have to look at. You know, because it's not us against cyber charter schools. It's effective and responsible use of taxpayer dollars. We spend almost $1.8 million in Indiana area school district to cyber charter schools that aren't helping kids. Yeah. You know, if that money stayed in our community as it was intended, we wouldn't have to raise taxes. You know, that money would be here going in to where it's intended to be, which is our children.
Yeah.
You know, helping them.
When you're talking about funding of those types of schools as well, and it amazes me how the system is not really structured enough that you get a bill, basically a surprise bill shows up at the door, and that's something that you don't really have a choice in. You say, we got to pay this. Okay, that's going to affect, where do we find that money? Affect hiring, affect building construction, it can affect any way that you operate, and it just shows up on the door one day, not planned for by you.
Absolutely, at 100%. And our school board's about to make decisions on whether or not to fill positions that are being vacant by retirees this year. Those teachers help kids, and we can't fill those positions if we can't afford to pay for them. And that money, that surprise bill that you have, takes a bite out of that money we have to pay our teachers here in Indiana. And the sad thing is, Todd, is we have our own cyber school. So if families want cyber education or virtual education, we offer that here. Yeah. You know, so the cyber model we have right now just doesn't make sense. It's wasteful. We need to look at it because it's a way to put a lot more money into public education without having to raise taxes on anywhere or come up with any new money anywhere.
Yeah, it's really a fascinating subject. It has to come to some sort of solution. Okay, so
Absolutely.
We're getting into the fourth quarter of the school year, and that means that we've got standardized testing coming up. Do I understand there have been changes in the Keystone exams that are going to affect the way that they're given?
There are. Starting next school year, they must be taken online. And that's an effort by the state government and the Department of Education to try to save some money on the amount of printing that they do and the shipping that they do with all these tests. So 100% support that. A lot of our kids now live and work online. So it's not a foreign thing to them. But they also have these new questions that are called technology enhanced questions. So that when a student interacts with these questions, instead of having one answer, A, B, C, or D, Now they say have a list of ABC all the way through H, and they have to pick the top 3 answers, or they have to drag the commas and stick them in the sentences where they make sense, or complete a chart that's online. Things that our kids will be able to do without too much difficulty, but it's just an added layer to these tests that they're complicated and possibly twist the results a little bit. So it's something our teachers are preparing for. It's something that we're explicitly training for, and hopefully it won't affect our test scores. And it's interesting that the tests, as we approach this is one of those opportunities that comes from if the Trump administration does shut down the federal Department of Education. Those tests that we take are really a federal requirement. So can Pennsylvania take advantage of this opportunity to really look at our standardized tests and make accountability measures that make more sense? And we'll see. But right now, our teachers are working very hard preparing our kids. Coming down the home stretch, PSSA testing starts the day we get back from Easter break in a couple weeks here. So hopefully all the hard work that they put in and dedication they put in is going to pay off here with positive student outcomes. So
the speed with which these final weeks of the school year go by, it's breathtaking.
It's unbelievable.
It really is. All right, Eisenhower. We're getting into Eisenhower soon?
We are. In fact, I have a meeting at Eisenhower right after I'm done here with the safety team, looking at the safety protocols that we're putting in, the physical safety things. So we're excited about that. Our substantial completion date is April 18th, which is just 18 short days away. So we're really excited about that. We're working with the teachers that have been displaced from Eisenhower that are still living in as visitors in our junior high. They're very excited about getting back to their own school and really making that a positive community again. So it's been a long road, but we're very, very excited that the end is here. So or the beginning is here. So
it's going to be something else. It really is.
It really is. It's going to be a beautiful building. They've done a lot of great work. The additions that they've made and the improvements that they made are really nice, and they're going to help us do great things for kids.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, spring sports are underway. Prom season, that is coming. Then pretty soon you're planning for graduation. Wow.
It's unbelievable. Like you said, it goes so fast. It really is. This spring is the most wonderful time of year in schools. It is. The spring sports are under a great start. Lacrosse is out of the gates hot, and baseball is ranked 2nd in the state right now. They have some incredible pitching and some really good defense. We're expecting big things from them, and I know they're expecting great things of themselves. So it's exciting. If you get out to see a game, this would be a great year to do it. If the sun ever comes out.
There's that. All right, just a couple of moments left. We want to talk about a couple of things. First of all, the Battle of the Faculties.
Battle of the Faculties, April 11th at the senior high school. You can bring the kids, have a great time watching our teachers compete against each other in silly games. It's all a culminating event of a fundraising effort that our own teachers do to help support the Indiana Area Education Foundation, which I've talked about several times on this show. But they're a group of local community citizens who just want to make sure that every single kid has the absolute best educational experience they can in our community.
Yeah, and a brand new assistant superintendent.
Starts today. Mr. Sean Gilday is just settling into his office as we speak. I'll bring him by next time so you can meet him and introduce him to the community, but we're very excited to add him as the new assistant superintendent. He used to be the superintendent at Glendale area. He's now here, added to the team here at Indiana, making us, again, one of the best around.
Yeah, Glendale's a nice school.
Yeah, absolutely.
It really is. All right. Well, terrific stuff. Thanks so much for coming by.
Thanks for having me. As always, appreciate it.
Rob Heinrich, he is the superintendent of the Indiana Area School District. It's the voice of Indiana County. WCCS 101.1 FM, AM 1160, WCCSradio.com. Boomer Sports next, and then Josh in the newsroom.